Hi, Rex Welch here at RW Mods. I had some build tips here and building with Lexan. I don't really see many people in the drone community building, at least getting things mounted or whatever with Lexan. So I thought I'd give a couple build tips here. I got a Flow Rotors Roosh. I got it from my son. He flew it last year and I liked the way it flew, and he wasn't going to use it this year, so I got that from him. Put some electronics from a different quad on it. Got some new motors. The ZMX should be a nice motor, and so I heard good things about him. He had previously, when he had built this, he used a shorter standoff than the stock ones, and I ended up, when I got it from him, just kind of thought I'd stay with that because he did fly it once in a while with the battery on top and liked the way it flew there too, so it's kind of a good option with this one. This is the Stretch X version, the 5L I believe it's called. And so I was having some, it was kind of tight on space with the shorter standoffs, and I believe he ran the Spectrum receiver up underneath the camera up front. I kind of wanted to get it in back, and then so I kind of had to come up with some ideas. My original plan was to just shoe glue a piece of Lexan across the back standoffs and then mount the receiver. Then I ended up kind of changing my plans and ended up turning out better, I guess. I kind of liked, in my previous builds, running the VTX antenna. That's a Furious UFL antenna. I'd kind of, in a previous build, like my Cray Talon, I'd ran it right out the back, and that thing never got touched by a prop or the ground or anything. It's just kind of a perfect spot there. So that's what I was going for on this one. I might need to do some adjusting. Looks like it's kind of, when I land, it's kind of in the way. I might, do something different, or maybe a different length or something, but thought I'd show that. So I built a little Lexan wedge there, and to hold the VTX, because if I laid it flat in there, it wouldn't fit. It kind of touched the standoff and the stack, so I ended up kind of at an angle. It took up less space. So I'll show you here. Take the top off and show you. So the VTX and everything just comes off when I take the top off. I shoe glued the UFL connection previously and then taped it. It's been, in my other quad, it held on there pretty good. I like the shoe glue better than the, using a hot glue. I think it's more of a kind of a silicone glue, so it stays pretty soft. And then my receiver mount here, I was just going to shoe glue a piece to the back, but I ended up kind of making a full loop with it, and it just will slide right off the standoffs, but it can't come off with the top deck on. So, and then I sometimes decase the Spectrum receivers, but I thought with it being off the back, a couple grams isn't going to make any difference. So this is my first rendition of the wedge I made. I kind of changed where it wanted to be a little bit. This Lexan, I got this a few years ago through McMaster Car. You can get little, foot by foot sheets, or a little bigger, different thicknesses. This is kind of a medium thickness, and you can just kind of bend this thinner stuff. You can kind of bend it right over the counter on a sharp edge. Any kind of sharp edge, just kind of bend it with your hands. I put this in a vise to bend it, kind of just sandwiched it and then kind of bent it over. I'd first kind of used Lexan on my tiny whoop. I bought the canopy, and then I needed a way to mount the camera. I wasn't going to buy a different camera, so I ended up just making a Lexan piece. That's actually even a thinner piece there. Made a little Lexan piece because the camera on the stock tiny whoop is two pieces, so I ended up mounting kind of the VTX part there, And then just two-face taped the camera after I bent the front up on the Lexan piece. Turned out pretty good. It's kind of adjustable, just kind of bend it. So that worked out pretty well. So I thought, kind of had the idea with this. Another thing, kind of a little build tip too, is using a zip tie to hold your battery wires. Probably everyone's had some battery wires rip off the ESC or PDB or whatever you use, and kind of messes things up. I know I had burned up at least one myself with the wires coming off. So especially with the bottom mount battery. So I ended up on one of my previous, I guess that was on the Talon here, I ended up just zip tying. You run a little bit longer wire than you normally would, and then zip tying it to the frame, to the arm, whatever. And then if you get and it pulls, if you hit the ground or whatever, it pulls the battery out or battery ejects, it pulls on the zip tie instead of on the ESC, which works very well. I haven't had a problem with any broken wires or anything since then. Normally the battery will come unplugged, so that works out well. So that was the tip for today. I got another build coming up next. Is my Catalyst Machine Works America. Gonna go with some T motors on that. Got the F40 2600 kV. That should be a fun build. So thanks for watching, and click the subscribe. Thank you. Bye.